This new attitude continued till I could not take it anymore. So I decided to go to her house to tell her that we should go our separate ways. Upon reaching there, I saw another man in her room wearing only his shirts and singlets. I was hurt, and Naomi on top of that told me she no longer wanted to have anything to do with me again. Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to another beautiful episode here on King Spencer TV. I trust everything is going on fine for you. We have a story from one of our brothers. He didn't want to mention his name, so I edited out names, locations to hide their identity. Without wasting much of your time, let's go and listen to the story. I am a young man in my late 20s. As I'm telling you this story, I am a blind man. I was also not able to walk for about a year. I have grown very lean. I have really emaciated. I worked as a small-scale miner. Because of that, I had money. Not that I was extremely rich. I had enough to cater for myself and whoever was in my life. I met this lady at a funeral. I and my friends went to the funeral on a Thursday because we knew the girl who had lost her father. So we decided to go and help her with some chores. One of my friends went to the funeral with his girlfriend, so they ended up having one room to themselves. I and my other friend was also in one room. On Friday evening, my friend had to go to the next town to do other things, so I was left alone in the room. That evening, I was returning from the wakekeeping when this lady, Naomi, also said she wants to sleep since she has come to the funeral. When we got to the house, she said she would sleep in my room since she had no room. I don't own the room and my friend was not around, so I said yes to her. I went into the bathroom to take my bath. After I got into the room, she too went into the bath. I was on the bed pressing my phone. She walked out of the bedroom stark naked with nothing covering her nakedness. I must say I couldn't resist the temptation, so we made love throughout the night. She was very good in bed. I must say after the funeral we started dating and everything was going on well, until one day my sister told me to break up with Naomi, which I refused, and I told my sister she cannot come between me and my lover. I said a lot of things to my sister and she vowed never to talk to me ever again in her life. I didn't mind whether she talked to me or not because I had all I want in Naomi. I continued with Naomi for about a year and I started noticing some changes in her attitude towards my mother and my other sister. I confronted her and truth be told, she gave me the insult of my life. This sudden behavior of hers was a shock to me because I have never seen such behavior from her before. This new attitude continued till I could not take it anymore. So I decided to go to her house to tell her that we should go our separate ways. Upon reaching there, I saw another man in her room wearing only his shirts and singlets. I was hurt, and Naomi on top of that told me she no longer wanted to have anything to do with me again. This got to me and I demanded everything I gave to her, which she refused. I was giving her upkeep money, 100 Ghana cedis every day. I took her through 3 years of learning trade. I renewed her rent allowance when the initial one she paid expired. I told a friend of mine about what Naomi has done and he advised me to go see one powerful native doctor who would charm her mind in order for her to pay me back my money. So I went with one of my friends, collected the charm from the native doctor. He told me to put the mixture that was prepared for me into her soup or water or anything liquid for her to eat. After that, she will come following me and everything I ask her she will do so that I can command her to give back my money. I returned and I called her. I asked her where she was and she told me she was in the market. Knowing fully well that she wouldn't be at home, I went to her house in her absence since I had a spare key and I saw that she had soup in the kitchen. So I poured some of this mixture into the soup and mixed it completely. I left the place after finishing my tasks. Now I was waiting for her to just eat the soup and everything would work. I was in my room in the evening when I had Naomi fighting with my mother. I went there to find out the cause of the fight, only to be told Naomi was accusing me of poisoning her soup. At this point, I was confused and wondering how she even got to know that I put something in her soup, even though I know it wasn't poison. I still did not get how she was able to know what I did. I told her I have done nothing of that sort. So she told me if I say I don't know anything about what she's saying, I should wait and see. And she walked out angrily of the house, leaving my mother and my sister asking me if what she was saying is true or not. I said I don't know anything about what she was accusing me of. I tried chasing her to explain things to her, but I didn't see her. After a week, I realized I was reducing in size, growing skinny by the day. I wasn't my usual self anymore. Anybody that saw me would think I have gotten HIV/AIDS. In about a month, I was paralyzed. I could not eat. I could not walk. Even if I want to talk, I struggled before I could say a few words. My sister that I insulted when I started dating Naomi was the one helping me in terms of food and clothing and even bathing. She was worried and asked if I have wronged anyone, for she thinks my sickness is not just a normal one, but rather a spiritual issue. I told her everything. She then promised to help me. So one day she took me to one pastor who he saw told me that the person who was responsible for my sickness is very close to me. He prayed for me and told me to go and sit down with Naomi, my girlfriend, and settle whatever issues between us. 3 days after we went to see the pastor, I woke up in the morning and I could not see anything again. I was blind at this point. I have lost all hope. I shouted and began to cry for help. My sister and my mother rushed into my room and saw the state I was. I asked my sister to call my mom for me, to which she told me that my mom went out of the room as soon as she saw me. I asked why, and they told me they cannot tell me why she did. I forgot to tell you that I have a child with a lady called Betty, and Betty and I broke up before I met Naomi at the funeral. When Betty heard of my situation, she came to stay with us in order to help my family take care of me. After some days, she offered to take me to see one man of God. My mother rejected the idea, but my sister insisted that she would take me. When we visited the man of God, he asked where my mother was. We didn't understand why he was asking about her, but then it was later that it was clear why he asked. The pastor promised me that he will see to it that I regain my strength first, and we can tackle the next issue. So he gave to me some substance to bath with for 7 days. At first, I was supposed to go and bath with this substance in our house, but the prophet said he will not do that since someone will spoil the substance he has prepared for me. So I spent the 7 days in his prayer center, and on the 8th day, I was able to stand on my feet. The pastor, when he came to visit me, told me and my sister that before I will regain my sight and be healed completely, there are things Naomi, my girlfriend, will have to tell me before I will fully be okay. So we went back home and told some elders in my town. They called Naomi so we can settle this case, but she did not honor their invitation. 3 times they called her, but she did not come. Before then, on the 3rd day, she sent a message to the elders that if I was to be well, I should ask my mother and not her. Thank you for being part of this growing family. Kindly share your thoughts with us in the comment section. If you are new here, please subscribe and like and share love. And I will see you in part 2 of this video.